During the winter of 1804, Captain Lewis was making the last-minute preparations for the spring departure, whether gathering intelligence, building a network of contacts, or securing the final supplies. He knew Clark's ability to mold the detachment into a functioning military unit was essential for the journey ahead. The men, each one, had been recruited for specific talents, skills vital to the mission. But soon the captains realized that all the planning, even the success of the expedition itself, could be threatened by those very same men and the skills they brought with them. It was a danger they had never counted on.
A critical test for the detachment. Can they function while the captains are away? The captain's objective is to form the men into a cohesive unit that will withstand the rigors of the unknown when they encounter the perils of the interior of the continent.
Camp du Bois, February 20th, 1804. The commanding officer directs that during the absence of himself and Captain Clark from camp, the party shall consider themselves under the immediate command of Sergeant Ordway, who will be held accountable for the good police and order of the camp during that period, and will also see the subsequent parts of this order carried into effect. No whiskey shall in future be delivered from the contractor's store except for the legal ration, and as appropriated by this order, unless otherwise directed by Captain Clark or myself. Meriwether Lewis, Captain, 1st U.S. Regiment Infantry.
Both Lewis and Clark know they, as well as their men, will be tested to their limits and beyond. If the party can't survive the cabin fever of today, how could they expect to endure the trials of tomorrow? One life will depend upon another. Success and failure will be shared by all. Discipline of the unit is the critical objective that must be second nature, from the captains to the last private, if they are going to come back alive. Success of the mission is the only measure by which they will be judged.
Detachment orders today, February 20th, 1804. Standing orders are posted outside the officers' quarters. Please see those detachments. You will be forming your work details and continuing on the same operations that you have been doing in previous days. That is all for today. Orders, sir. Orders today have been read. Any further orders, sir?
Dismiss the men.
Detachments! Dismiss!
Come in.
Sir, I brought you drill yard as you requested.
The documentation Lewis has was made during an expedition in 1795 by Scottish explorer James Mackay. Mackay's maps reached as far as the Mandan villages, a milestone known on the Missouri River during those early days. As luck would have it, James Mackay was living in St. Louis in 1803. As a result of his meeting with Mackay, Lewis now had access to virtually everything known by white men as far as the Mandan villages. Mackay's information was critical to the success of the enterprise they were planning.
Quit tugging it so hard. No, come on, tugging it. Hey, Frazier, come on, quit riding that saw and start pulling on it.
Right?
Break it up!
Break it up!
Sergeant Ordway begins to have discipline issues with the men soon after Captain Clark left. Strong men of strong resolve, the exact qualities you need from those selected for such a mission, tend to take issue with being told what they need to do.
Ordway, I need to talk to you. Why do you have Willard out there fixing the locks, fixing the rifle? I'm the best blacksmith. Why do you have him out there doing that? That's why I'm here, okay? I don't need to be digging holes. I don't need to be cutting firewood.
You were assigned to be on detachment
I need to
or
be
firewood.
working, okay?
You need to be doing what we tell you to do.
Not digging holes.
To
I'm
cut
the best
firewood.
blacksmith.
It doesn't matter. That's
No,
what my
I need to
orders
be
were.
doing that, though.
Are you questioning my orders? Are you
Yes.
questioning Captain
Yeah,
Clark, Captain
I'm the
Lewis's orders?
best blacksmith.
Those are
though.
Captain Lewis and Captain
I'm the
Clark's
best
orders.
blacksmith.
You're doing,
He doesn't need to
you
be
know
doing
what?
that. I need to
Guard! Get this man out of here! Guard! Find him to his quarters. Get him out of here!
Hey, I'm gonna kill you.
Arguments are one thing, but threatening his superior with death is another. Sergeant Ordway has no choice but to restrict Shields after his threats before he loses control of the detachment. While outside supervising the work details, Sergeant Ordway has another challenge to his authority. A detail permitted to go hunting visits a local whiskey shop instead. As they return, the sergeant is tested again.
What's going on over here? Back off!
I'll kill a muddy puppy.
No, you won't, Cobra. Give me that. Back off. You take these 3 sluggards to their quarters and confine them. We can't have this.
After almost a 2-week absence from Camp Dubois, Captain Lewis returns from handling preparations in St. Louis to find the actions and disobedience of some of the men in the party to be disgraceful and insubordinate, especially after he personally authorized Sergeant Ordway to execute his handwritten orders.
Sergeant Ordway, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me the story. What transpired here?
Sir, there's a lot of disorderly conduct in camp. There's drunkenness. Sir, I've had my life threatened twice by these men. And I know you and Captain Clark both know that we can't have this in our camp.
You're absolutely right. There's no place for behavior like that in camp of order and discipline. So thank you for bringing this to my attention. You're dismissed.
Lewis, upon hearing Ordway's report, wrote this directive.
Detachment orders. March 3rd, 1804. The commanding officer feels himself mortified and disappointed at the disorderly conduct of Reuben Fields in refusing to mount guard when in the due routine of duty he was regularly warned. Nor is he less surprised at the want of discretion in those who urged his opposition to the faithful discharge of his duty, particularly Shields, whose sense of propriety he had every reason to believe would have induced him.
Sergeant
Ordway. A message from Captain Lewis.
Detachments, fall in!
Sergeant Ordway gathers the men to read the scathing directive from Captain Lewis. Now at a breaking point, he has his doubts of what it will take to mold these rough-and-tumble frontiersmen into a military unit.
Right dress! Eyes front! And in short, the whole party is to obey implicitly the orders of Sergeant Ordway, who has received our instructions on these subjects and is held accountable to us for their due execution. Captain Meriwether Lewis, 1st U.S. Infantry, Commanding Detachment. Detachments dismissed.
After nearly a month away, Captain Lewis returns to Camp Dubois.
Attention! Captain Lewis at the gate.
Captain Lewis, good to see you. You as well.
With the decision of the disorderly men looming, Captain Lewis is anxious to discuss the matter with Captain Clark.
Well, Captain, I had higher hopes for this winter.
Agreed, it's not off to a very good start.
It's a shame to lose these 2 men.
Yes, it surprised me that these 2 were the ones that gave us trouble.
We cannot accept dissension, threatening the life of Ordway. Absolutely unacceptable.
Agreed, it's absolutely essential for the task we're undertaking. It's unfortunate to lose 2 good men like this.
Enter!
Captains, the men are assembled for the trial.
Shall we do our duty?
Bring forth the accused. Court, stand at attention.
The trial begins the following day, the 29th of March. The captains, to be fully prepared for any outcome or trouble from the men, place loaded pistols on the table in full view.